You all have come now into the city of Mithranve, and even from where you entered, you can see there's a wall before you that seems to be kind of sectioning off the main inner city. And then even behind you and to the sides, you see like buildings sprawling out into the mushrooms and the caves and rising spires of the landscape around you. Like this city goes on as far as you can see in any direction. Immediately, you notice it is impossible to walk in a straight line here, and in order to get past the current shoulder-to-shoulder foot traffic that seems to grow more disorderly by the minute, you have to sort of shift your body sideways at times, almost half crab walking your way through the aisles of heads. Both short and tall, elf and dwarf, and all those in between. And as you go, you all can sort of feel your senses are lit aflame by the strong, alluring sense of food, heavily spiced and just waiting to be devoured, set out in massive boiling pots that sizzle and spurt with steam along the side of the road. And as you go, to your left, Yavari, you witness a drow woman is reaching out her hand to you, offering you some tasty morsel that appears to have been baked and deep fried.
Oh my god. Oh, we need to get a fried. I need a fried pickle.
Do it.
I look at the food and I'm immediately suspicious. I'm like, money? Will this cost me something?
And she shakes her head as she says, No, free. Welcome to the Dark Feast, Fate.
Oh, well, thank you. I carefully take it from her hand and just awkwardly bow my head. I don't know drow tradition. I don't know how to act.
She smiles at you and like... Mm-hmm.
I just thank her. Bow my head or something in respect. I don't know.
So I slide on over and I'm like, hey, you don't happen to have any more of those, do you?
Oh, absolutely. As she reaches over to a rack on her side and plucks up a few more and just hands you about like 3 of them to pass out to you and your friends.
Narchalis raises his hand up as though he's going to say something and pauses and then lowers his hand and just puts them behind his back and watches.
Oh boy.
I'll walk over to Narchalis and go, is this safe to eat? Is it good?
Taffy's already shoved one in his mouth.
It tastes delicious. That's actually one of my favorite
lining
foods.
up for one.
Go ahead.
I reach for one of the ones that Taffy has in his hand, like in a gesture of, can I have one in your hand?
So originally he kind of pulls back a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he kind of you know, he outstretches both of his hands. He offers both the 2 he doesn't have like in his mouth currently for whoever to take.
Thanks, Taffy.
He's like, as he's chewing on like.
You sorry, just watches them eat it because she doesn't know.
So here, hold on. So wait, Taffy's eating it. Did anyone else take a bite? Arca, did you say you grabbed one?
Yes, I grab one.
Take a bite?
And take a bite, yes.
I also
Excellent.
take a bite.
Excellent.
Oh,
as you all chomp into this thing, immediately you can tell it's like a deep fried dough stick, and right beneath that crispy outer layer, there's a layer of melty, pungent cheese on the inside. And inside of that is a delectable and crunchy, dehydrated centipede that crackles on your tongue.
Oh, heck yeah!
Here's my Narchalis. Here you go.
You know,
This is why I let everybody else try it before I did.
You know what we should do? So Taffy, he's much just like, man, we should try frying those cat scorpions. Man, I bet that tastes great. As he's just going to town on this thing.
A loud roar suddenly shakes the ground from overhead, and as you look up, you see the illusionary dragon that had burst to life earlier is making its way around the spires of a massive subterranean palace in the center of the city. The only other thing that makes its way to you is the sound of raucous laughter and a shrill, joyous voice that shouts over the crowd. That's right, make your way over here. It's time again for the Night Court Feast. And you know what that means. That's right, it's Thalriz, your favorite entertainer. And as you're making your way toward the center of the street, kind of in the direction this voice is coming from, you're overcome with a sea of new smells. These smells are numerous, plentiful and strong, almost reminding you of burning incense. It's sweet and intoxicating, and as it fills your lungs, you find yourself almost beginning to sway to the sound of the music, feeling the corners of your eyes grow hot and red, and your coordination perhaps a little slow. I'd like you all to please roll a d6 for me.
Oh no!
Oh, I love it.
Oh!
We're all getting high. Let's go.
Oh yeah!
Oh, damn it!
Tova's always huffing the incense.
It's spilling it.
I told you I was gonna get a 1.
You really did. All right, let's see. So 1 is Narshellus and 2 was Arca, 3 was Ari.
This is not how this was supposed to go.
That's fine.
Wouldn't be your
Don't
very
worry
first
about
time smelling incense.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I smell a lot of incense in temples, sometimes.
Yeah, right?
You get used to it. That's fine.
So with the natural ones, Taffy and Narshellus. Actually, no. I'm gonna start at the other end. Yulia, with her highest roll of a 5. As the smell of this incense reaches you, you suddenly begin to feel very drowsy. Your eyes can almost barely stay open, and you realize how good it would feel to lie down, close your eyes, and maybe take a little nap. The Tove, with your roll of a 4, as well as Nialkish's roll of a 4 and Renarian's roll of a 3, you're overcome with an absolute euphoria. And everything around you starts to make you giggle and laugh as though you were inebriated and drunk. Arca, with your roll of a 2,
Oh boy.
despite having just munched down on a deep-fried centipede, you still feel incredibly hungry. You're very aware that your stomach is growling, and how long has it been since you were able to sate that gnawing pain bubbling in your gut? Suddenly, everything around you looks and smells delicious. Even some of the people look tasty.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Turbo munchies!
No.
Oh no!
Narshellus and Taffy.
We're about to have a bad time.
With your natural 1.
Here we go.
Here we
You're
go.
both overcome with the sudden urge and violence to fight and kill.
Oh!
Your blood begins to pump with adrenaline, and you may take every little joke as an act against you at this time.
I will turn around to see Yulia curled up there, or I'm sorry, like leaning against the post, and this indescribable wave of violent annoyance just shoots down my spine, and I snap. I'm sorry, is this too boring for you?
And then Taffy spins around. His ears are flat, and his his fur is spiked up, and his tail's just swishing everywhere, and fur's flying off of it. It's like, God, we can't go anywhere with you people without causing some kind of like slowdown or problem. You just gotta. Can you not wait until we get to the inn or somewhere? Just get in everyone's way.
I want to eat your hair. Your hair looks tasty.
I think that this is really funny. That Yulia just like falling asleep. Like what is happening, you guys?
Oh, you think this is a joke?
Everything is a joke to her. Of course she does.
Okay, wait.
My head slightly
So
sides.
true.
My head slightly slides down and it jerks me awake. I don't go. What happened? Are we under attack again? Are we good?
Oh, you're about to be.
Honestly, Taffy, why do we go anywhere with them? You and I are the smart ones.
Obviously.
The best thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. You guys should like do this more often, like fight.
Oh, I'll fight you in a second.
Oh yeah.
God.
I think you all should get some rest.
And I think you should step off.
No.
I'm gonna die. Goodbye, guys.
I hope
Nice
you get that
knowing
second
you.
character sheet prepared.
Oh, I'm gonna get to see Resh kill Taffy.
Oh, if you die, Taffy.
Resh just shakes his head and, still holding Narcellus's wrist, just starts to drag him along towards the blood pit, expecting everyone else will follow.
It's like, oh, good. Now he's just dragging people everywhere. Who died and made you the leader? As he follows off.
Of course, as you're walking, almost everyone tries to get your attention. As, Tove, someone kind of reaches out to you with what looks to be a pretty, silver pendant in their hands, and Resh just kind of will quickly, keep pushing you along as,
Wait, but it's really pretty.
it's horribly fake.
As soon as he gets close, and Taffy spins around and sees that interaction happen, and then he lunges at this guy, and just grabs him by the scruff of his shirt, or coat, or whatever he's wearing, and just slams him up against a wall and pins him there. And he's like, "What? You just gonna shove your garbage in our faces? You need to watch yourself before you get yourself hurt." And while this is happening, I want to make a sleight of hand check and steal the pocket watch.
You may, but roll it with disadvantage.
Okay.
Jesus
I like
Christ.
seeing this side of Taffy. This is so funny.
I need this to work.
You need this to work.
I also need this to work.
Oh
So
God, a
14.
14. God, I forget how much you get to these rolls. So as you shove him up against the post or whatever, he's like, "Hey, easy now, easy guy. I don't want any trouble, man." And
Well, you found it.
come on. And he'll, you take the little pendant from him that he was holding, and he doesn't even seem to notice as he's very visibly panicked. His, red eyes are wide as he's shaking his head like, "No, please, man, I don't want any trouble."
So
Taffy.
slow. Oh, I'm thinking about it, but you know what? I'm feeling a little merciful today, so you watch yourself. Don't let me catch you around the street again. Got it? As as I back up and make the I'm watching you with my pose.
And as you all continue down the street towards the blood pits, you're suddenly approached by a femme fatale drow. She has lavender skin and beautiful silver hair. She kind of flows up to you guys with rather smooth movements, with a wide, friendly smile on her face as she says, Welcome! Oh, it has been such a long time since we have had such a diverse group of adventurers as yourselves in Mithranve."
Eyes
I
narrow.
immediately perk up. Huh? Oh my, you're so pretty.
Oh, well, thank you, as she smiles and gives you a wink. How are you all enjoying the night court feast so far?
Well, it was fine
I'm
until
enjoying
another.
a lot more. Oh, go ahead. You
Who wants to
go
sass first?
ahead. You go ahead.
It was fine until another clown just walked in front of us.
Ooh.
Oh,
Daffy, don't do that. She's so
We're
pretty
all-
and she looks so comfy. Ma'am, can I fall asleep on you, please?
Of course, my dear. In fact, if you all have a little pent-up rage, or perhaps you're feeling rather weary from your travels, I can lead you here over to the blood pits. You are more than welcome to release all that pent-up anger. She smiles towards Taffy. And we do have a rather lovely inn there, the Broken Mask. They have the softest beds in this part of Mithron Bay.
No, they fucking don't.
They absolutely do.
Place
I
is
shake
a
my head
fucking
vigorously.
shithole. What are you talking about?
Like I said, another clown for this circus of a city.
I told Yulia even closer, like, you're not going with this pretty lady.
Whoa.
Uh-uh.
I think we just need to give it a chance. Like, I really think maybe it'll be like the best inn we've ever gone to. Like, who knows?
Also, excuse you, Taffy. Did you just say circus of a city?
Well, yeah, I mean, gee, have you seen this place?
I'll fucking kill you right now.
Come at me, bro!
I'll fucking do it.
Do it!
I mean, come on, you guys. Like, why do we need a fight right now when we're like in the middle of like this beautiful, amazing, fantastical like feat, right? Like, I mean, come on. No fighting, no fighting.
Oh, shut up, Tony.
Like, come on, jeez.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to go fight it out in the blood pits.
Imran?
Uh-oh.
Imran immediately shrinks away and attempts to hide like behind Narshellus.
Man, you just piss off everyone, don't you? Little shit.
I don't know what you're talking about. Imran, what are you doing here? Imran is just still hiding behind Narshellus. Larissa, it's so nice to see you, sis.
Oh, I am not protecting you, and he just like steps aside.
Narshellus, please. And as soon as you move, the female drow Larissa suddenly grabs Imran by the scruff of his neck and like hauls him forward. And seeing the two now next to each other, it's very
Kick his ass.
it's very easy to kind of see similarities between them, between the purple color of their skin. They sort of have the same rounded facial features and very similar hair. And she says, "Mother has been worried sick about you. Where have you been?" Listen, I've been busy. I've been trying. No, I don't want to hear it, Imran. You are going to go home and go see Mother right now, as she shoves him away from all of you.
You're in trouble.
I'm now more awake, but it's that tired where you're almost kind of drunk. And I just kind of say, I love it when women are angry. It is very hot.
Oh, thank
Dude,
you.
very valid of you, Yulia.
She smiles and bats her eyelashes at Yulia, and then immediately rounds back on Imran. Go! Now!
Skedat.
Hey! Imran just kind of like pulls in like close to himself, like, okay, alright, fine, and just, ducks his head and just hurries off into the crowd without so much as a goodbye to the rest of you.
Bye,
No, it's
Imran, you little bitch.
Bye, Imran. Have a good time seeing your mother.
Narshellus, I'm sorry, will sort of click his fingers together and cast Firebolt, in that he's holding like this sort of glowing ember in his hand, and he's like, "Don't test me, little kitty. I will light your ass on fire."
Come on. I've dodged worse. He's nursing his paw, his paw, and like kind of bouncing up and down, like focusing on Narchellis's this hand that's on fire.
Oh my god. Resh, please do something.
Resh
I
at
remain
this
out
point,
cold on the ground.
Resh at this point kind of steps between Taffy and Narchellis, looking at his younger brother with just a glare. He looms over you.
Alright, look. I'm not scared to light you on fire either, you know.
Do it! Come on, get him!
You're not that scary. You're
Show him who's the superior brother.
And you
yeah.
I think what Taffy said kind of calms him down a little, and he pauses and he's like, you know what? Neither of you are worth wasting the anima. And he fizzles his hand out by shaking it after a minute. It's like, and besides, I am the superior brother. I died for you. I saved your life. And I died for it. And you know what? And he leans over and he looks at you, he's like, you bitch.
It's fine. You know, it's fine. We're just going to the blood pits. Like, we should. And then she's literally like kicking Yulia hard in the ribs.
Bam.
She's like, we're just gonna go.
That's not how you do it. Taffy runs up and just rib kick. That's how you kick someone.
Jesus.
I just wake up with a start and the worst groan, and I just curl in on myself wherever Taffy kicks me.
See, obvious.
What the actual fuck is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Just taking naps whenever you want.
You hits me, and I'm sitting up now, glaring at you. Hits me first.
What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do? Come on, get up.
You guys are all ruining the vibes.
Arca is gonna go.
Let Arca go.
Okay, Arca is gonna go and grab Taffy and place him over his shoulder.
All right, here we go.
Right,
Come on, bird brain, let's do this. And he's like, worthlessly, helplessly trying to grapple. And he can't do shit. His strength is garbage. So he's like trying to do a reverse wrestle move on Arca, and it's just not working.
And at this point now, Resh sighs. Seeming most of you now are back under control, and we'll just say, let's go.
The babysitter is so done.
The babysitter is so done. I'm not getting paid enough for this.
From the outside, this tavern almost seems to have been crafted to look identical to a mask. Specifically, the Mask of Varan there's two halves of it dug deep into the soft, dark earth, with a chasm between of gold plates kind of acting like the door for you to enter in. To your side in particular, one voice kind of stands up above the rest, coming from a male dwerger with black skin and long gray hair that's held back in a mess of waves and braids. He looks very deep in his cups as he's swaying in his seat that he is standing in, leaning over the table at a couple of other companions with him as he slams a fist down and says, I'm telling the truth, there were these huge bugs in the waters. We went into the spawning deep, they're way out there. I don't know why you think I'm some insane man for saying so.
Oh.
Narchellis, I'm sorry, I will kind of peer over toward the table where this dwerger is at and recognize that they're talking about the water strider that we rode across here. I won't approach the table, but I'll kind of be more obviously listening in.
And as you all listen for a moment, he's sitting across from what appears to be a hobgoblin and another kobold kind of sitting beside him. Or what kind of looks to be a kobold at first. And then Runarian looks down towards Nyalkish and their party. And he says, "Oh, when did Nyalkish turn into a kobold?"
What? I'll turn around and look at Nyalkish.
And where Nyalkish was is indeed a kobold. It looks very similar to her with red skin and about her same height. Just kind of standing there between you all.
Why the fuck is she a lizard? Wait, she was always a lizard. Why is she a different lizard?
Why is she a different lizard?
Who the hell are you?
This is so cool.
Name Sagan. I don't know that, but I can be your princess. As he wiggles his eyebrows.
I approach him, pulling out the dagger and pointing to him and said, "Listen, where did the girl go?"
It appears that he is trying to solicit us.
I don't know what girl you're talking about. I just happen to be here. I don't know. I don't know.
She's kind of like your height, and she's like has like really. She's kind of looks like you, but she's a little different than you. Yeah, and she's like reddish colored, and she's just like very dragonborn. And she's just like very nice. Like, are you sure you haven't like seen her anywhere?
And there's gonna be two distinct differences. She will still be alive, and you will have a knife in your chest if you don't tell me where she is.
No. Listen, nice pretty lady.
We are threatening you. Please return us to our companion.
There's no need for the threat. Do you mean that one over there? And he'll kind of point across the way over to the bar where you see there is the familiar silhouette of Princess Nyalkish standing next to a large minotaur who looks to be white with black spots upon his body, what's visible of it from beneath his clothing, as well as a half-drow over on her other side. She's engaged in conversation, but from this distance, you can't hear what they're saying.
I put.
Oh my god! Is that a cow?
No.
And I will run up to Tove and just slap my hand over her mouth and pull her down.
I'll just put my dagger back and start walking towards Mia.
As soon as you say that, Tove, that Minotaur plus a couple other in the room look over at you with mixed looks of confusion and insult. And as the black and white one looks over at you, Nyalkish also turns to look and sees Yulia approaching, smiles, and gives a wave as she quickly runs over to meet you, Yulia. She's like, "Oh, thank goodness, I got so lost."
Are you okay? I'm so sorry. We only turned around a second and somehow there was someone trying to flirt with all of us and you were gone, but it's okay. It's okay. Now we have you. Are you okay?
And turn very slowly for the rest of the party. And in particular, my eyes narrow into this glower toward Yavari as I realized that anger was not caused by whatever we had inhaled.
Ooh, spicy.
Okay.
Spicy.
Ooh. I'm just, I I look at Nershellis and I'm like, okay. Is there something you need to say? I think you said enough tonight.
And at this point, I feel my fingers like curling into my hand, and realizing like there are people around us. He's not, or I'm not sure like what can be said, or if it can be said, since there's so many people, like it's so loud. But eventually, I just say, doesn't anyone else have a problem with how this woman treats me?
As you asked that, Runarian, having taken his clear shot, was kind of like rubbing at his head as his thoughts have finally cleared. And he looks over to you, looks over to Yavari, and he'll say, actually, Vari, what you said to Nershellis just a few minutes ago, that was messed up. After everything he has done.
I take a deep sigh, a deep breath, as I try to formulate the words in my head before I say them out loud. And my scowl, my frown just kind of softens, and I'm thinking back to all the things that I've said and done towards Nershellis and his character, or his personality, rather. And I pause for a moment, and I can't really say what I want to say with so many people around me. I feel like this is a very private matter. But I do look at Nershellis, ignoring the rest of the party, ignoring Ari, and I go, I own up to it. I know what I said. I know what I've done.
You own up to it, but are you gonna fucking change it? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, once you leave Mithranve, it's up to you if I keep coming with you or not.
If that's what you decide. You're your own person, Nershellis. I will... What the things that I have said to you were not fair. I understand that. I can't change what I said. I can't change how I've treated you. I don't think this is a conversation to have in front of everyone else.
No, but it was a conversation for you to have when you were putting me down in front of everyone.
I suppose you're right.
It doesn't matter.
I can say that I'm sorry, but words mean nothing, right? Words are just words.
Ari will even speak up and say, you know, I think if you hadn't said these things in front of us, then yes, it would be better for a private conversation, but I think at least an apology would be a good start.
Can we just go to bed? I don't really care anymore.
No. You wanted to bring this up? We're talking about it.
Yes, well now I need to go to bed.
Nershellis, I am sorry. Like I said, I can't change what I've said. I can't change the way that I've acted, and I wish I hadn't said some things that I did. But I will make a more conscious effort in how my words affect you and how my actions affect you.
Yavari, and I'll turn toward Yavari and just say, you asked earlier what I've done to protect you. And something you may not have realized about coming to Mithranve, I gave up my family for you. I can never go back to Philisera after what I did to get you guys out. So that you could survive and not be hunted down in Leyrid. I gave up my sisters and everything that mattered to me. The crystalline issue in his skin has spread.
Oh no. Oh no.
I immediately take notice of the crystal that has spread, but I don't make a comment about it.
Is there something I can help you with?
I don't mean to disturb you, but can we talk privately? As in, take a walk somewhere?
And he'll kind of look down at himself and be like, oh god, I have to get redressed. And so instead, he will pause. I will pause it, hold up a finger, and turning back into the room, he will look at Resh and just say, get out.
Resh kind of looks at him for a long moment, but nods his head simply, and he'll kind of just slip around Narcellis, kind of shoots Yavari one last look as he passes before just walking quietly down the hallway and back downstairs.
Would you mind walking around the room? Because that took a while to get off, and I really don't want to put it back on.
We could sit. That's fine. I just want to talk to you privately.
Oh boy.
Can I come in?
Come on. Yeah, and he'll hold the door open and turn around and walk back further into the room and kind of hop and pop himself up on the bed.
I walk in, close the door behind us, and, find a chair to sit across Narcellis. And I take a deep breath, and I just let it all go. Let me preface this to say, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't want that. I can't ask that of you. But what I can start off to say is that I am deeply ashamed of how I have behaved and acted with you, and the way that I have pushed and pulled was unfair of me, and making all these assumptions also wasn't right of me. But I meant what I said when I said I was sorry. That I do mean. And I've taken your help for granted. You have sacrificed a lot for this party that I have just completely neglected to appreciate.
Okay, and I'll just kind of lean back my palms for a minute, look at her with this sort of unimpressed look, like kind of just tired. And after a minute, I'll sort of roll my neck and my shoulders and I'll say, "So you came up here to say all of that?"
Yes, but I'm not finished. If you would hear me out for a couple of more minutes.
There's just one problem, Ivari. Back in Eastoft, you said you had my back.
I did.
I didn't owe any of you shit, and yet, consistently, you've proven that you somehow think that I owe you shit. How am I supposed to take anything that you say seriously when one day you tell me that you're sorry, that you want to act differently, you have my back, and then the next day you're ready to hold a fucking knife to my neck the same way that everyone else is?
You're right. I want to say that I put trust in you when I didn't. And it was inconsistent. And I can understand how that is completely confusing, and it is confusing.
The only one of you who I ever expected to be distrusting of me, to have such a big problem with me, was Taffy, and yet somehow he has proven to be the only person in this entire companionship that I know he treats me like a friend.
I nod because I know that I haven't been treating Nershellus like a friend. I haven't been treating anyone like a friend, but especially Nershellus, especially after I had promised him that I had his back, and I consistently proven to him that I don't. And it's definitely not okay.
Ivari, I know I'm the last person who can say this right now, because look, I don't know if you've noticed, but in this place, in this environment, Mithogre might be more relaxed, might be more open to everyone, to cultures mingling and mixing. In Philocera, it's all drop, it's all Lothite, it's what Loth wants, and she is the matriarch. And you cannot feel a shred of sympathy or empathy or want anything like that thing, or you are beset upon by everyone who finds an opportunity to just kick the shit out of you or kill you. And quite honest, I didn't want you guys to trust at first. When I first met you all in Drake Mount, I thought we were just going to drop off Sturkin, and then I would either be completely rid of you all, or I could stab you and take all of your money, because that's what we do. But
I would have done the same.
Things We've proven different.
Certainly got more complicated.
Yeah. To be quite honest, once everyone gets across the Dread Tide, I don't really know what everyone's going to do. I know Arca wants to go to the Karst. I know Yulia wants to go back to her family, most likely. Taffy keeps talking about going back to the desert city. He says it's hot. Papitos. You said you wanted to go back to Idfu. I don't know anything about Afria or Arquette, but I don't know. There's a
What
lot
do
of
you?
stuff. What?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, what were you saying?
What do you want to do?
No, honestly, I'm still kind of dealing with this is gonna sound really pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the Nightlands, that was the most painful thing I think I've ever experienced in my life. It felt like my lungs were exploding. I'm not really okay with it, but I'm kind of in a situation where I have to get up and be okay.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it does make sense. And I am sorry that I didn't do more to protect you back there. When you changed, I will admit that I was frightened for you.
Sorry.
Don't apologize.
I didn't know that was going. I've never died before. That was new.
Yeah.
Thought I was gonna be a tiny little spider somewhere.
You don't need to apologize.
I feel like I do. I'm guessing that I was the one that almost killed Tove.
But you weren't you. So
it's fine. It's fine. I just won't let it happen. It's fine.
Well, all of this to say is that I, like I said, I am deeply ashamed of not being consistent and being an overall bitch to you for no reason other than to be a bitch. But I would like the chance to amend what little trust or what little relationship we have. And I want to change, but I leave it in your court what you decide.
I think this is a decision that you're going to have to make. I can't tell you to change, and you just follow my directions.
I nod.
And I feel like, not speaking, but I feel uncomfortable talking about this kind of thing with Yabari. I'm fidgeting and I'm kind of glancing every so often toward the door, seeing if Resh has maybe come back. I'll lean forward after a minute. I'll say, to be quite honest, I'm not really comfortable talking about this kind of thing right now. I've got a lot to think about. I was actually gonna go try to talk to Taffy later, but maybe we should just call it a night and you can think over what it is that you want to do. If you decide that you want to treat me differently, then that's fine. If not, I'll just stay on the opposite side of everyone else.
Okay. I respect that. I think I've said what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I
But I hope that this somewhat clears the tension.
we'll see.
I nod my head and stand up from my chair. I'm gonna let you rest now. You look exhausted.
It's fine. I should probably go find Resh before he wanders into an incense plume. He just, I just get up and grab the outer coat I usually wear and like pull it over, and I'm like, "You're not used to being up at night, though, so you should probably get some rest."
And Yavari I nod and say goodnight and head back to my room as I continue to think about what I want to do in the future.
And ourselves will just go downstairs.
Alright. So yeah, you guys part ways for the evening as your conversation finishes up. And leaves it at that. And so now I shall move on to Taffy.
Oh boy.
The next roll of a 4.
Oh baby.
Yeah, whomst would Taffy like to talk to? Or if you'd like to go out into the nearby area instead.
Okay, so first, let me set the scene. So after being dropped off in a room, he's kind of curled up on the bed for a little bit, just kind of sitting there putting himself back together. Then after a little bit more, he stands up and he starts pacing around, slowly around the room, reminiscing off all the shit he just did. So I'm assuming we remember like all of that, right? It's not like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's holding this, he's got his cloak on. He's holding this little, silver pyramid that clasps his cloak together, and he starts scratching around it. And he's thinking a minute for a while. And he's just kind of fiddling with the pocket watch he stole, right? Trying to decide what he wants to do, because he never got that guy's name. So he's like, okay, all right. And so he goes to put it in his inventory, in his pockets. And as I'm digging around in there, trying to put it away, something, he feels around, and he grabs at something. He's like, oh, he remembers what he has, this little statue of his favorite god. He pulls it out, and he's looking at it. and he just stares at it for a little bit. And he's like, okay, but like, he starts talking to himself. It's like, all right, yeah, but all right, look, that didn't count, right? That doesn't count. I didn't do it on purpose. That doesn't count on purpose, right? Yeah, no, it's like, all right, you know what I'm gonna do. Listen. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this right now. And so he's still got Neferu gripped in his paw, and he just takes off out of his room, and he goes downstairs. Or first of all, he's basically he looks for Yulia. I don't know if Yulia's back or not from her expedition.
We can say she is, yeah.
Okay, so I catch Yulia in the hallway. So he just dead, just gaze locked, just walks right up to Yulia, stops abruptly in front of her, and says, "I need you to punch me as hard as you can in my face." He takes a big deep breath, and he's he's hyping himself, he's preparing himself. He's like, "Okay, all right." And he just grits himself, he closes his eyes, and he just waits.
Just arts thou alive?
Arts thou alive?
I am so sorry I hit the mute button because my dog came in here. I was worried about him barking while it was thundering. I am so sorry.
No, you good.
It's all good.
So Yulia, I'm just standing there. I'm basically that gif of the guy just blinking and just kind of like, what the fuck? I think I would.
No.
I Yulia think like me and Taffy are like really good friends at this point. But instead of complying, I'll just kind of reach a hand and just place it over his paw, and I'll just be like, "Do you want to talk about it?"
Maybe.
Okay. Do you want to go back to your room, to my room? Do you want to go downstairs and talk? Maybe get a drink of something? How do you want to do this?
Okay, can we get a drink?
Okay. And I'll just kind of loop my arm around his, and we'll just walk down to the bar, try and find I'll leave him at like the quietest spot I can find for a minute while I go to the bar, get 2 cups of water, and bring it back and sit down next to him, and I'll just wait for him to start whatever it is he wants to say.
So he's sitting there and he's fiddling with this. He actually looks quite bothered. He's fiddling with this tiny little wooden carving of Neferu in his paw, and he's sort of glancing. He's not glancing at anyone. He's just sort of glancing around the table, just looking at the table. He just as you come and set the drinks down, he just kind of grabs one, pulls it. He doesn't drink it. He just kind of pulls it towards him, and just kind of slowly kind of shuffles the cup in circles. He doesn't really say anything quite yet. And then after a minute, he goes and he said, what do you know about dreams?
Kind of lean back and think on it for a moment.
Do you think they're caused by karma? Do you believe in karma?
I would say yes. I do believe that if our lives are a scale, then our certain actions that we take can lead one way or another, change the weight, so to speak. And whenever we meet, whoever, forgive me, I don't know much about Tabaxi deities, but I would like to think, the father, as I meet him after I lived a hopefully long life, that I would be judged by whatever deeds I've committed in this life, and hopefully, settle good. But that's besides the point. I do think that if we've done something and if we feel a certain way about it, that could affect our dreams in one way. I also know from plenty of folk tales and stories that they can be signs, warnings, what have you, just signals of something. So why do you ask?
So Taffy's freaked the hell out right now upon hearing that he gets judged by gods and that these could be warning signs. So he's sitting there, he's just death gripped this little Neferu statue. He's like, all right, well, okay, if that's the case, I really need you just to hit me, okay? I need you to hit me as hard as you can, all right? It's not fair. I did, let's, we just got, you gotta pay me back, right?
Taffy, why do you think I need to hit you?
So he at this point his head snaps up and he looks around, and he's looking kind of desperate at this point. And upon seeing nobody else around, unless there is somebody else around, I don't know if there would be or not. But he doesn't seem to he seems to think that it's just him and Yulia, in this quiet little corner of the tavern. He's like, okay, all right, listen, I didn't want to freak anyone else out, but I had back when we were in Valgard, I had this nightmare about who Nefaru, right? And he kind of waves the little statue that he has of Nefaru around. It's like, listen, I don't know what it meant, but it was a lot. There was undead elephants. Nefaru was there. It was very confusing, but I didn't start having those. I didn't have those before. I didn't start having them until after we broke into that manor. The one with the statue, and that I don't do that sort of thing. What if doing that was a crime. That was a literal crime, right? I didn't think it was for the right reasons, but that doesn't excuse it. And then I had the dreams, and then
Okay, Taffy, take a deep breath, okay?
He's just he's kind of hyperventilating a little bit.
Take a sip of water if you need to. Just take a minute, okay?
So he tries to sip on his drink a little bit.
Okay. And I will lean forward on the table, kind of folding my hands on top of each other and just keeping everything about my upper body open and focused on Taffy, as I say. So I do know a little bit about Neferu. I can't say I'm familiar with all of her stories or any certain tales related to her. So you tell me, did anything about these dreams align with any sort of myths that you know about her? But what is she about? What is she known for? Tell me that. We'll start there.
That's a lot. Well, okay, let me just pull up my notes real quick here. It's from where I'm from, there's and it's a lot of balancing, right? There's a lot of laws and actions beget actions, that sort of thing. The dream stopped, right? They stopped after I did I mean, it wasn't a perfect ritual, worshiping ritual for Neferu, but I apologized and they stopped, and I thought I was done, but I just assaulted people. I stole something. I don't want the dreams back. I don't want them back. I don't know what they mean. I don't know. I'm just me, right? I'm just little old me. Just trying to help out my dad. Trying to help out my guild. And then what if then my guild is, I'm a representative of them, and they're caught up in something that they did illegally, and like, I mean, they tried to murder the queen, and then they did, and now is that gonna did I have something to do with that? Did I what if I'm responsible in some way? What if I helped that happen in some way, and now I've got to deal with like. This is bigger than me. This is I don't know what Nefero wants from me or of me, and I can't fix things. I can't re-alive the queen. And now I just need, if I'm being judged on what I'm doing on my actions, I need to make sure that everything is repaid in kind, right? So I haven't had the dreams yet. They're still gone. So maybe I'm in the clear. But I don't want them to come back, and so that's why I really need you to hit me, to repay me for my transgressions.
I'm just in there. I'm just letting him say whatever he feels. I'm just taking it all in, and I'll just say I understand. It's and I just let out this long breath, and then I just say, there's a lot that's happened. We've all done things that I don't think we ever expected to ever do. But it's not, I don't think any about this is as black and white as you're kind of painting it at the moment. I mean, yeah, we did break into a manor, but remember why we did it. Remember what reasons we had to get to there.
Okay, yeah, but just
remember, I know, but actually, just continue. Whatever you're gonna say, continue.
My actions are still my, like, I don't know, maybe there was another way. I don't. Neferu didn't Neferu didn't see it that way. I've never had those dreams before, and they started right after that. It can't just be a coincidence.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I can't even claim to know what the gods are thinking, but the whole point of it is, though, we can't go back and fix everything. We can't go back and undo any right or wrong we've done. You said so yourself. We can't bring the queen back. We can't fix anything that's happened. The only thing we can do is, well, hindsight, right? We can only think about coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it's really about what we do next that's important. And I know there's so many unknown factors to what's going on right now, but we made mistakes, but we learn from them. So I think Neferu would want you to realize, if you really truly feel guilty about this, remember this guilt that you felt, so you can do your best to not repeat these mistakes again. And I'm sure, I don't know for sure, but hopefully that puts you back in your graces. And obviously, if you haven't had the dreams in a while, maybe you're at least on the right track there.
So he kind of, he didn't really have a response back to that. He's kind of looking to glancing around. He hasn't looked Yulia in the eye or at all. He's just been glancing around the table. Takes another sip of his drink, and he's like, "Okay, but could you hit me just a little bit, just in case?"
I just kind of sit there for a moment. I'm just nodding. I was like, all right, just lean forward a little bit.
So he leans forward.
And I raise my hand, reach over to his ear and just give it a little flick with my nail.
And I nervously laugh. Like, yeah. And then he looks at the little statue. He's like, "You saw that, right? There you go. It's been repaid. Transaction complete." And then he kind of tries to. He's like trying to laugh to calm himself down more than anything. It's like, thank you. I don't know. It's been kind of bothering me, and you know what? You're right. It's just superstition. It's just dreams. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. As he nervously takes more drink from his drink.
I mean, there's one thing you can try that I've done with the father in the past. Maybe if you want to try it, it can help you a little bit, or at least help you put your mind at ease.
Oh yeah?
So sometimes when I don't know what to do, I don't know how to approach a problem or the next steps in a problem, I'll just ask the father, just give me a sign on the next step, or what is the next thing that you want me to learn. And that kind of opens the door for, something. You may get a dream, you may just get an occurrence that happens, but just, maybe instead of trying to run from the problem, just face it head on and see what she really wants from you.
Well, right. Well, that's the case. I'm going to need to find another bathhouse.
Is that part of the ritual process?
I mean,
you were talking about?
Yeah, you don't just ask Neferu directly. I mean, that's why I got this little statue made. Yeah, you got to make sure you're cleansed, clean clothes. I don't really have the full range of equipment to do it properly, but I do my best. And of course, I'm not a priest myself, so or a priestess of Neferu, so it's a little skimping out on a couple steps. I'm just you work with what you got, right?
Yeah. And forgive me if this is out of line, but sometimes you don't need the steps to, put yourself at the mercy of the gods. Sometimes I think you just need the intention and the willingness to learn and to listen. And I think that's enough to get something.
If you, just to be safe, I probably should follow. She's already really pissed off at me in my dreams, so it's I would like to follow as many of the steps as possible.
Fair enough. Is there anything I can help with procuring what you need?
So I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna cut in really quick, and just kind of say that Taffy and Yulia will continue to kind of chat. I'm sorry, we gotta kind of keep it moving here just because it's getting a little late. I apologize.
No, you're good. That's fine.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're okay. You're okay. Just because I want to make sure we can kind of get to Arca here before it gets too late for some of us.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
But yes, nice little chat Taffy and Yulia got to have. So yeah, I'm gonna move on to our last person, Rananananana.
Ranananananan.
So we got a bird.
We got a bird. Let me think. Let's go with a rat.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Give me 2 seconds to grab my pizza. I want to hear this.
I want to hear this.
All good.
So I'll give Bela a moment before I'll set the scene here for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Oh boy.
So
Birdman.
upstairs, as Narcellis asks Resh to get out, as Yavari had come to find him, Resh kind of wandered his way downstairs just to kill some time and give the two their time to chat. And that's where you'll find him, Arca. He's kind of sitting off to a table off to the side. He's got no one else that he seems to be engaging in conversation with. He's just sitting there with not even a drink. He's just kind of chilling,
just
like,
sitting.
yeah, he's just like kind of staring off at the wall, looking rather like deep and lost in thought.
Okay. So, after I guess like kind of winding down and cleaning, I guess, all the blood and grime from the rest of the day off, he sneaks downstairs and he's probably been meaning to kind of speak with Rash a little bit, so he takes his chance to kind of pull up a chair and sit at the table opposite from him and kind of says, "Hey."
He kind of blinks and straightens himself as he realizes he now has company and says, "Hello, Arca."
So, I guess I've been meaning to speak with you over this last while. Well, I guess I'm curious. Why did Narcellis bring you along? I guess, like, your brothers, but I thought maybe his family situation seems like difficult, and I don't know. I guess I want to hear the story, if you don't mind sharing it.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, that was me
You
dropping
mind?
something. Sorry, I'm good.
Resh just crawls
You
across
mind?
the table.
Yeah. Jesus. Wow, that fart was nuclear, Presley. Sorry, I'm just like dying. So as you ask this, Arca, Resh, he's giving you his attention as you're speaking with him. Just being very respectful. And as you ask, he kind of like tenses up his shoulders. He's definitely sitting up straight with like a proper posture now. And rather than kind of answering that with a proper answer, he instead asks you in return, if I may ask a question of you first, what was your own family situation like?
Well, normal, I suppose. Very normal family situation. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's
How about
some. Oh, go ahead.
how about this then? Did you get along with your siblings, if you have any?
I do have siblings. All younger than me. And yeah, we do get along. We squabble sometimes, of course, typical sibling stuff, but we got along. I always looked out for them.
What about your parents?
Here, Arga pauses. I pause, and it's a little bit hard to read his expression, but it seems like he's kind of conflicted and struggling to put his thoughts into words, or struggling to even decide for himself. And then he slowly says, I'm not sure. I think I got along with them. There was a lot of pressure in a way, but I did my best to live up to their expectations, and I did. And then it all kind of fell apart one day, but yeah. I don't know how we stand anymore. I never stuck around to really see their disappointment if it was there, but we kept the peace.
He kind of thinks this over for a long moment, nodding along at certain parts as you speak. And eventually he'll say, in Drow society, at least in the noble houses, which we do come from one, it is typical that the parents, especially the fathers, are not usually an active part of their children's life, especially if they are to have any daughters. The mothers very quickly take them to ensure they grow to be proper priestesses of Lolth, at least in Philisera. It's perhaps a little different here in Mithronve for the few noble houses who worship Varon, or in other cities where some rare cases might worship Alastrae. For us, growing up, it was, I suppose, to put it in the simplest words possible without making it lengthy, almost every day, especially for Narcellus being the youngest and being half human, was a battleground, especially between him and our youngest siblings, who were a handful of years younger than he was. They were constantly picking on him, harassing him. They would steal things out of his room, they would cause a mess, and in Lothite society, men are looked down upon as being lesser than females, no matter the age. So even though he was older than his youngest sisters, he would be the one at fault, even if he had nothing to do with something.
That's bullshit. But yeah, that's bullshit.
It is our society. I can say, thankfully, it is much different here in Mithronve, where men are treated more as equals, yet amidst some of the noble Lothite houses, it is not much different. As for why he asked me to come along, it's complicated at best. Before he showed up in Philisera with all of you, the only time I had ever seen him was once at a family gathering, and we never shared words with each other. And another time was when our brother Zres had died. We were both present for it when it happened. At the time, he and Zres were under a lot of stress from our mother. Zras, being how he was, confronted her and said that he was going to be taking Narcellus and leaving Philicera. I told him he was stupid for telling her about it or thinking she would understand. And her response to him saying this was to electrocute him to death and throw him off a cliff.
Ooh.
Where Achilles and I were both present. And that was about 5 years ago.
Arca's face slowly turns into one of like sheer horror at hearing this, and he looks away, or I look away, and kind of tap my talons against the table. I had no idea he'd gone through all of this. And you, for that matter, you may act stoic, but I'm sure it has an effect on you as well.
You could say that. He kind of like clears his throat a little. He'll say, I suppose Narcellus wanted me to come because he did not want to leave behind another brother, as he places a lot of Zres's death's blame on himself, even though he was hardly more than a young teenager at the time. And Zres to him was closest thing he had to a father figure.
And now that lies on you.
It would seem so, yes.
Then I understand.
I suppose that's the bulk of it. That hopefully answers your question.
It does, thank you. I realize that I somewhat haven't really understood what he's going through or what the context of all of this is, so I wanted to know. But that aside, can I ask, how are you doing? You, after all, just saw your youngest brother, you know. Are you doing okay?
I don't think I am anything close to okay, but dissecting my feelings at this time would be a lot. I'd rather not.
Understandable. Very understandable. You know, when we were on the water strider, I heard my youngest sister calling for help. So I can only imagine it's so much. Anyway, if you don't want to talk about it, and that's very understandable considering what we need to continue to get through. We're not out of the woods yet. I understand.
That's good. I do hope that in the future the rest of your party can be a little more understanding of Marcellus's feelings. I know he likes to act like an adult and insists he is, but he's not.
Yeah, from what I know about elves, do you know wait, did they say Ari's age before, or just out of character?
I don't remember. I mean, it's fine. I'll give you. What did we put him at, Bela? Was it like 100? Was it like 150-ish?
But for what?
For Ari's age.
Oh, he's 124.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll say you can at least know he's about that.
Okay. Okay. So like as an aside, Arky kind of like jerks his head over to the stair. I mean, jerks his thumb over to the stairs, and he says, like, "Do you know that Ari guy is like 120 something? That's insane." Anyway, yeah, knowing that he's like, Narshalis is definitely still pretty much a kid, and for what it's worth, on my watch, I will do my utmost to like make sure he doesn't, you know, uh get injured severely in battle again. So between you and me, I think we can keep that covered, eh?
And for a brief moment, you kind of see maybe the corner of his mouth like twitch slightly as he inclines his head. And he'll say, "Yes, it would seem that would be up to the two of us from this point onward."
Definitely.
And then he'll add on, as for the age of elves, I'm not sure exactly how long it is your people live for, but for elves, they're usually not considered adults until they're 100. Half elves are a little different. They typically age similarly to humans.
Yes. Let's just say that Aarakocra live fast and free. Our average lifespan is most of our oldest elders are in their early 30s, so yeah, it's very different for us.
Rish's eyebrows like raise at that, like looking for a moment a little genuinely shocked. But he nods in understanding before his gaze kind of drifts over towards the stairs, as he can see at this point Narshalis kind of hovering near the top of them. And then he'll look back to Arca and rise up to his feet as he'll say, "Well, I think both of us, everyone, in fact, should probably get some rest for the night."
Of course. It was a good talk. And Arca will stay seated, and just so they don't have like that awkward thing where like you both say bye and then we go in the same direction.
Rush will just nod and say, "Have a good night." And then he'll walk over to the stairs and go meet up with his younger brother again. And so they can go head to bed.
Adorable.
Adorable.
Right.
That was good.
Great. This is great. All right. So everyone, eventually, you all make your way into your rooms, whatever ones you've selected to stay in for the evening, and you're more than happy to have somewhere to finally lay down after the long and arduous journey that it has been ever since you left Valgard. For all of you, it kind of feels like you probably haven't slept in a week. So having something to lay on, even if it's not the comfiest bed in the world, like the drow had claimed earlier, it's a nice place to sleep. And eventually you all close your eyes and drift off to sleep. And it's restful. Except for Taffy.
No!
Oh no!
Right after that
Again.
chat too. Just like, oh, yeah, you know what? Yuli is right.
The
Dude, just
Pharaoh was like, I
immediate-
heard you talking shit.
I heard you talking.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Big cat is mad.
Mama cat angry.
Mama cat angry.
So, Taffy, as you drift off to sleep, as your eyes open again, you awaken inside of an alabaster hall of a great palace. You're surrounded on all sides by pillars of white stone that are gilded in thousands of different designs. You find yourself walking through the halls, smelling a scent of sandalwood incense wafting through the air and the slithering of skin on the sandstone floor. It seems familiar in some way, yet completely foreign to you. And as you continue into the Great Hall, you realize this is familiar to you because this would be where the Pharaoh receives his guests. And there, in the center of the floor, lies the body of a purple-skinned man with high cheekbones, a long pointed chin, and noble features. Someone you recognize. It is the visage of the Pharaoh himself, Shepsekare III.
Can I get a
He
spell on that?
lies. Yes, absolutely. Here's my roll 20. There you go. Shepsekare.
Shepsekare. Thank you.
Shepsekare III. And he lies there, motionless,
Oh,
listless, looking up at Taffy with a pair of almost glassy eyes. And do you approach him, or?
So yeah, immediately upon seeing the Pharaoh, I look around. There's like no one else, right? It's just me and him.
Yep, it is completely otherwise like abandoned in here.
So Taffy, seeing no one, he tries to scream for help. I don't know if he can actually make any sound at this point in time, but he does run over to because he doesn't know if he's dead or not. So he runs over to try and help, but he's screaming like, hey, help, somebody come.
All right, and you scream for help, hoping someone will hear you. And as you run up to the Pharaoh, you kind of reach out to touch him, and you realize his body is stiff and cold. And upon closer inspection, you see there's a pair of vicious gashes across his chest. And as you call out, the only thing that you hear as a response is this great, terrible hissing behind you. And as you turn, your blood running cold, you find there's a vicious purple cobra twisting and turning around, almost 30 feet tall, its head flattened and ribbed outward, giving a deep, throaty hiss. The snake has an odd symbol on its head, you realize. The symbol of the sun shining brightly on the flatness of its head as it opens up its maw. And at the moment, as it looks prepared... Goodbye, Yavari.
Oh no.
And at that moment...
Oh, gotcha.
At the moment, as it's drawing its head back to strike, Shepsekare has lifted his hand and has grabbed your wrist so tightly that you cannot escape or move away. And you hear his quiet, fearful voice whisper into your ear, I know you see them too. These dreams, please, help me.
Oh no.
And at that point, you feel like a sudden flare of pain in your chest as the snake lunges at you, which awakes you in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. And that is where we shall leave off the session for tonight.
Oh, Lord.